welcome back to the show with me today. It's been a long time since she's been here, but now after, I think it's been 4 years since you were here last, the one and only Carla Harvey, of course, the new reigning Acid Queen and Lords of Acid, new band, The Violent Hour, and of course, formerly from Butcher Babies. Carla, what's happening?
Hi, I like all these. I like being called a queen lately. The acid queen.
Well, and it's got to be pretty cool for you. I remember when you joined Lords of Acid, you put out in your statement that you were joining, you said that they were one of your favorite bands going back to high school. So I would imagine it's got to be
Yeah.
pretty cool to see things come full circle like that.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, we used to sneak out at night and go dancing at this place called the City Club in Detroit, and they played a ton of Lords of Acid. And of course, like back then too, we would go to record stores and like flip through records and sit there. And when I saw the artwork to Lords of Acid albums back in the day, I just like flipped and fell in love because I loved comic books, and there was this great artwork by Coop on the cover. So it's like a long-standing love affair with everything Lords of Acid for me. So when the opportunity showed itself, I was like, hell yeah, I want to do that.
How did that whole thing come together?
Well, I think I've been a presence on their social media for a while. I always, comment on everything, and I share my experiences of being a fan my whole life. I was even, I mentioned Coop, the artist, I was even one of his devil girls that was on the cover for Halloween one year. So I'd always share these photos, and I've openly said on different posts, my favorite bands when I was a kid were Pantera, Lords of Acid, and Guns N' Roses. So I think it just all came together. A lot of fans were like, "Oh my God, they need a new singer. It should be you." So that's the magic of social media these days, right?
So no kidding. So what, they reached out to you and then it just kind of went from there?
Yeah, and I've known mutual people in Lords of Acid throughout the years, so it all came together really nicely. And again, I jumped at the opportunity because I've been such a fan since I was a kid.
Well, and to the point of your favorite bands in high school, obviously Pantera being one of them, and now with being with Charlie, next thing you just need to have some sort of project with
I know.
Axl Rose or Slash, and you got the full trifecta right there.
I know, right? At least I need to get Slash to like guest on a song or something like that for the Violent Hour to make this like full circle thing and really twirl, right? But no, it is. I love that Charlie's doing the Pantera stuff. I was a big fan. I love the songs. I toured with Phil years ago. And it was Down and Butcher Babies and Black Label. So I always thought that he was great. So yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome time to be me. I get to go see, I get to be in one of my favorite bands. I get to go see one of my favorite bands frequently. So yeah.
Well, and I saw just the other night you posted a photo with you and was it Jack White that you posted a picture with the other night in Nashville?
Yeah, so I kind of slept on Nashville. I mean, I know Nashville's cool, but Nashville's really cool, and a lot of cool people live there. So I got to meet Jack White, which is really awesome. Obviously, I'm originally from Detroit, and he's originally from Detroit. And anytime that you see someone who is from, the same place that you are, that has done so much with their life, it's pretty exciting. And on my upcoming Violent Hour EP, I actually cover a song that Jack White was heavily involved in. So it was pretty cool. I got to tell him about it and and all that good stuff.
Well, and also being from Detroit, since you brought up the Violent Hour, of course, the debut single from that project is out now, and John Five makes a guest appearance on it, and he is also from
I
Detroit.
forgot. He's also from Detroit,
Yeah.
right? Detroit people are just great, salt of the earth people. They really are. They're always, and there's this thing that when you talk to someone else from Detroit, you know it, you feel it, and they just get you. So John Five is great. I was actually on a John Five song years ago called Euphoria. So it was time for him to return the favor to me with this first single. And it's such a great guitar solo that he does. The first time that I heard it, I was like, holy crap, I can't believe that guitar solo is in my song. It's so good. So that was really exciting.
John Five is an absolute fucking monster. I mean, that guy
Yeah.
is a killer player. Did you know him back in the day, like when you were younger, or did you meet him later on?
No, No, I met him when we were on tour with Rob Zombie during Mayhem Festival 2013. So we spent a lot of time together that summer. We were obviously always watching Rob Zombie, and yeah, so that's how I met John Five, and of course John Five is great friends with Charlie, who and Charlie wrote all the music for my upcoming Violent Hour EP. So let's not sleep on that. I wake up every day next to like this brilliant musician, so of course I'm going to recruit him to start writing for me.
Well, and he played all the instruments on the EP
He
too.
played
Wrote it and played
every
it.
single instrument, so literally it's just Charlie and I writing these songs together. And though I never I don't want the Violent Hour to be a solo project per se. I'm definitely going to have a band to tour with and who are going to play the songs. But collaborating with Charlie on the music has been really, really cool, and just this really intimate thing to do with him. And it's been really exciting to see it all come to fruition.
There's always you hear people talk about when they're writing songs with a bandmate or whatever, and it can get real heated and real tense, and these fights break out. But is it weird, when you're like writing songs with a romantic partner, and then it gets all
Yeah.
gets all weird after you're done writing?
I trust Charlie completely with the music side of things. I never really have to say I may shorten something, but I love his ideas. And if we're open, if we don't like something, if he doesn't like a particular lyric or doesn't connect to it, I just tell him it's my lyric, so shut up. No, just kidding. No, we'll talk about it, and if he thinks something could be better, he'll give me some advice on it. Or if I'm performing a part and he doesn't think it's, and I take it all with, I mean, Charlie's a brilliant musician and he's been playing in bands for what, 40 years. So if he's tells me that I could do better on something, I'm going to listen.
How did you and Charlie end up meeting each other? You guys have been together for what, like 10 years now, right?
Yeah, yeah. So my band, my old band covered a SOD song, Pussy Whipped. And
I do
I
remember
saw
that. Yeah.
Charlie, pardon?
I said I do remember when you guys did that. Yeah.
Yeah. We had this, yeah. So I saw Charlie backstage and we were introduced, and I told him that we had done the song, and he's like, "Why did you pick that song?" And we just got to talking, and we didn't start dating right away. We just we actually were both artists, and I knew that about him. So I sent artwork back and forth with him, and we just kind of chatted as friends for some time, and then finally he we went on our first date, and yeah, it's like 10 years ago now. Crazy.
Yeah, time really flies. So,
Hmm.
is there a release date for the Violent Hour EP?
Yeah, it's gonna come out in August, and I've got another single on the way that I'm really excited about it that is super different from anything that I've ever done. And that comes out in July, and then I have the EP coming out in August. And then, of course, also Lords of Acid, new album to work on as well.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that because I remember when the announcement was made that there was going to be an album. Have you guys started on that yet?
Yep, we're in the demo phase of it, so that's going to be really exciting. There's some really fun stuff, and it's a big juxtaposition to what I'm doing. It's interesting juxtaposition to what I'm doing with Violent Hour, but it's a really exciting time for me because I get to live out like literally all my music dreams.
What are you? Do you contribute to the writing of the new Lords of Acid stuff, or is it you kind of take a back seat and they present it to you and then you go from there, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
so that's what's so different. With the Violent Hour, I'm 100% involved in every aspect of the writing. Whereas Lords of Acid, the Acid Queen just performs the songs and puts her voice to the songs, which is an important part. Like you can get a demo of a song that you haven't written, but putting your own flavor on it is super important. But Lords of Acid, they write all the demo stuff and do all that.
And that the tour starts at the end of the month, right? The end of May.
Yeah, It starts at the end of May. I'm getting really excited. It is a solid lineup. It's very, estrogen heavy, which is really exciting for me. I've never been on a tour with so many women. And I'm excited about the shows, and I'm excited for my fans that like can't imagine me singing with Lords of Acid to come see the shows. And so I can show them, how cool Lords of Acid is. It's like when you're a teenager and you find a band that you love, you want to show it to everybody, and you want everybody to think it's just as cool as you think it is. So it's really exciting to be getting out there and performing.
Well, and we should clarify about the lineup of the tour. It's Lords of Acid and Little Miss Nasty, which for those that don't know is like a burlesque sort of dance show, I guess is how you could put it. And then is there an opener on the tour, or is it just Lords of Acid and Little Miss Nasty?
Yeah, Lucia from KMFDM is going to be opening up the show. And we've got a couple of DJs as well, DJ Chris, DJ Ellicat. It's going to be a really fun kind of we want, as soon as you walk in the venue, to know this is going to be a kick-ass Lords of Acid evening. So it's going to be really curated from the second that you walk in.
This is with the tour starting at the end of the month. This will be is this the first time that you've performed live since leaving Butcher Babies?
Yeah, I've done some things here and there, like performing a song at a place, at like Scott Ian's birthday party with a bunch of awesome people. But yeah, this is my first tour since BB, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see everyone and say hello and to everyone. And that's why I hope a ton of people show up, a ton of fans of my former band. I hope to see you all there.
Well, it looks like I by no means am I like a Lords of Acid expert, but looking around on comments and stuff, I mean, it seems the reaction, a lot of times when a band gets a new singer, especially a legacy band that's been around for years and years, I mean, it's normally a pretty mixed bag in terms of opinions, but from what I saw, I mean, it seems that everybody's pretty stoked on having you on board in Lords of Acid.
Yeah, no, I think people are really excited, which is great. And also, Lords of Acid, they switch singers frequently. It's not like it's, a situation where there was one person for the last 30 years and I'm just stepping in and filling their shoes.
Sure.
So it's a really cool thing to be able to, wear the Acid Queen crown for a bit of time, and maybe keep it on or maybe pass it to somebody else. But I hope to stay a while.
Well, and it probably works out too for you, because I remember when it was announced that you were leaving Butcher Babies, part of your explanation was not wanting to be out on the road for. I think you said you can't at that level, you can't really make a livable wage, touring 12 months out of the year, and you had a family now, and you didn't really want to do that. And Lords of Acid, I mean, certainly an active band, but not, Lords of Acid is not one of those bands that is out on tour constantly. So,
No.
I feel like that was probably a very, exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah, and there was a lot. Oh, she said she wasn't going to be in music anymore, which I never said. It's like people read one little blurb. I mean, even in my announcement, I said that I'm not done with music.
I remember that. Yeah.
So Lords of Acid. I don't like to say it's low investment because that diminishes like the excitement about it. But they don't tour more than once, maybe twice a year, so it's perfect. And then with Violent Hour, I can make my schedule. I can decide when I want to tour and how I want to do it. It is very hard to be away from your family for excessive amounts of time. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's beneficial in any aspect, to do that to yourself and to your family, especially as the years go on. You miss out on so much of life, and so many important things. And while my music career is hugely important, while singing, being on stage is hugely important, I think that anyone, you have to know that your family is the most important thing. And maybe that's where, I've been a mortician forever, and now I work for a company called Parting Stone. I deal with death on a daily basis. And I think dealing with so much death has really shown me what is important in life. And what's important is, being around the people that love you and support you, and that are your family. And I don't want to be away from people like I used to be.
Well, I remember last time you were on, we went pretty in depth into the whole death doula thing. But looking around now, it's and outside of what you told me 4 years ago, I really have no knowledge of all this. But it looks like, so you're doing the parting stone thing, right? Which, if I understand correctly, is that's where you can turn, you can have remains be
Mhm.
turned into rocks.
Yeah.
But you also have your own like grief counseling
Yeah.
business, right?
Yeah, I'm a grief specialist, and I've been able to, over the last years, 10 years since I started my company, I've been able to, really help disenfranchised kids, vets, people with brain injuries, people who are going through extreme losses, not only death, but just, a change in their lifestyle, a change in employment, even a situation like leaving a band like I left, that could elicit some real feelings of grief. So I've been able to help a multitude of people, and it's such a rewarding, career to be able to help people when they're feeling at the lowest point of their life. And especially metalheads, I find that I've really found a niche in counseling with metalheads, because a lot of us are disenfranchised kids, that grew up, and we still don't trust people or the system or whatever it is. But people trust me when I talk to them about their grief and healing, and help them. So I feel, so grateful to be able to help people in that capacity.
So when people reach out to you, I mean, is it a lot of people that you help? Are they, you know, fans of yours from music, and then they found out that you did that, so they reach out to you, or is it a lot of people that don't even have a clue who you are in the
So
world of
all
music?
it's all different. I've got plenty of clients that don't know, and then I've got a lot of clients that do know. And like I said, the ability to tell me intimate details of their life, they trust me, which is awesome. And I am so happy to be able to give back.
Well, and the whole thing with that I thought was interesting, how it all really kind of panned out, is that when you last year, when you announced that you were leaving Butcher Babies, and in part because of not touring, you really, in a sense, almost kind of have the best of all worlds, because when you become so associated with something, as you were with Butcher Babies for many years, and then you leave and try to do something else, it can be a little hard to it can be a little hard to get it off the ground. Even, you look at, I don't know, Mick Jagger or something trying to go solo, and it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
It's tough. But then, so you end up joining Lords of Acid, which is kind of a legacy band, already has a fan base. But then you also get to do the Violent Hour, which is where you have total creative freedom, and you get to do the grief stuff. So, I
Yeah.
mean, everything is like a perfect circle in a
I
way.
feel so happy and so relieved, because it wasn't, easy. And but you have to trust, like, the universe. And when certain things are taken away or go away, I think the universe really provides for you. So many good things have happened in my life since then. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that I'm able to have a career that I'm passionate about in death care still, work remote so that I can go on tour, but still have this incredible, job as a grief specialist. And, not only work on my own music that I'm incredibly, like, passionate about, but also get to, have some fun being part of a legacy project. I don't take any of it for granted. And I'm just so happy. And like I said, I do think that, like, when the universe knows that you need a change, and I don't mean to sound like hokey and new agey, but I really do believe that, um, you know, the universe provides for you. And I'm super happy. And also, on a side note, I can't do things that I think other people are going to want from me. I have to follow my heart and do what's best for me at this point. And I think that looking at things like, I want to write these songs, I want to put this album out, I want to do this, and looking at it as a passion project and not like, I have to be on the radio, I have to get these big tours, I have to do that. That also makes a big difference. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to like do what makes me happy. And not everyone's going to be cool with that, and that's okay, you know?
Well, whatever it is that you're doing though in life, it always feels better if you're being whatever you're putting out there is a reflection of you being honest with yourself.
Yeah,
When you see something that someone puts out and it's very obviously, forced or not, I mean, it's very noticeable when things are disingenuous. So I would agree with that
totally.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Authenticity is number one, especially, in the metal community. We sniff it out if you're not authentic. And I think that's one thing that no one can ever accuse me of, is being inauthentic.
Well, and I guess the one last thing I wanted to ask as we wrap this up, I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2023, when you were still a part of Butcher Babies, but you had to take the hiatus because I think you had there was something wrong with your eye, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Is that all? Are you healthy now? Is it all sorted
Yeah.
out?
Yeah. I've had two detached retinas. I had one about, gosh, it was about 10 years ago, I guess. And then this recent one. So both my eyes have shit the bed literally. It's just a genetic problem that I have. I would probably say that headbanging probably had to do with kind of the like it happening faster to me, because this usually happens to people who are like 80. But they're taken care of. The surgery is intense. You have to lay in bed for like 6 weeks and face down while your eye heals. There's a gas bubble in there. You've got like a massage chair that you put your head in, and there's a two-way mirror so you can watch TV. And I went through a period of deep depression both times during the process of the surgery and everything and healing. And because you literally feel like you're never going to get better again, and you're missing out on your life, and you're doing, you know, um, but what can you do? It's one of those things where if you don't get it taken care of, you go blind 100%. So it was an emergency surgery, it had to be done, and that's it.
So it's one of those things that when you start to realize that it's happening, like you have to get it fixed right then and there. There's no fucking around. And
Yeah.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
No, you definitely can't go on a 6 week, 8 week tour and bang your head some more. That's absolutely not going to happen. So is my sight more important, or is, going on tour more important? Obviously, my health and my wellness and any future tours, because if I lost my vision, then that would, that's it.
Is there any is there an aftermath to it? Like after the surgery, I mean, do you have any, is your vision totally perfect now, or are there any
So,
effects
no, I'm
afterwards?
always going to have I've had terrible vision my whole life. I will continue to have terrible vision. I will develop a cataract probably in both my eyes at some point.
Oh, wow.
But that stuff is easy. Cataracts you can get rid of pretty easily. And I have to go, and go see a retinal specialist, every year to make sure that it's not happening again, or that there's no more holes there. So yeah, it's intense. I didn't know it could happen. Like the first time that it happened, I had no idea that it was even a thing. So I had no clue. And when they told me the first time, they said, "I don't want you to get stressed out about this, but you have to go to a retinal specialist right now, or else you're going to go blind." And it's like, what? Like,
Jesus.
what? How did this happen to me?
Yeah, that would be a wild thing to hear. Oh my God, I'd be fucking panicking.
Yes. But it's funny though, I've met multiple metal musicians who've had the same thing happen, and in both eyes. And so yeah, it just sucks.
Well, I guess just a couple other things, and I will
Yeah.
let you run. But one, we talked a lot about the Violent Hour. You said the EP is coming out in August. Are there any other guest appearances on there, or is John Five the only guest appearance on there?
Yeah. So Also, Zach Wild's on it, but on the next single that's coming out, which is awesome. And again, just a crazy guitar solo. Really excited about that. And I know Rex Brown is going to be on a song too, but that might be on the full album. But yeah, it's really really exciting. And of course, like I said, Charlie Benante plays literally every instrument because he's that cool.
You know, what do you think, and maybe him too, if you guys have ever talked about it, what are your guys' thoughts on the Pantera, the 80s albums?
I mean, I think it would be fun if they brought a song out, you know?
I agree. You know, I know a lot of people like to goof on the glam era or whatever of Pantera, but they really did have some fucking bangers. I mean,
Yeah.
some of those
You
albums are
know,
awesome.
I'm a glam kid. I grew up in that weird period where glam was huge, but then you started to get, Guns N' Roses, who is obviously not in that category at all. Then you got metal. And then we got, the 90s grunge stuff. So I was there through all of it as a teenager, like inhaling all of it. So I think it's awesome.
Do you have a favorite Pantera album overall?
I think Vulgar Display of Power is probably my favorite
Vulgar.
favorite album. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Vulgar or Cowboys from Hell. Both of those are just
Yeah.
incredible. I haven't seen them yet since they came. I saw Phil Anselmo with Slayer on their farewell tour where he was doing all Pantera, but I've not seen this current lineup since they've come back. I'm hoping to get to a show this summer.
Yeah, it's a great show. And the songs, they're adding some songs that have not been in the set list to the set list, I know, for summer. So yeah, it's a fun show. I'm not gonna lie. It's like being, a kid that was obsessed with Pantera. It's great to see those songs play.
Well, Carla, I really appreciate you coming on. Lots of chances to see Carla out on the road with Lords of Acid beginning at the end of the month. And then, of course, the Violent Hour EP in August. And when did you say about the Lords of Acid album? Is there a time frame for that?
I don't have a release date for it yet, but it's so good. I mean, there's so many cool songs, and I'm really excited to sing those. Like, again, way different than anything I've ever, an album that I've been on. So it's exciting. So keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Do you have a favorite song that you've been doing in rehearsals?
So rehearsals are me in my room on the treadmill by myself right now until I get to LA.
Okay.
But I really love The Power Is Mine. I love the song Lover. Um, Do What You Want to Do is a great song. They're all fun. I get hyped up on the treadmill running to the song. So
Do they give you any will you have any say in the set list, or you just kind of just like with the
yeah.
new material, you just roll with what they tell you?
No, there's suggestions, and then I the first rollout of set list, I was like, no, my favorite songs aren't on here. I want to do this song, this song, this song. So the set, it's a pretty heavy set, and it's awesome, and I cannot wait, like I said, for metalheads to come to the concert and just have their minds blown.
Well, you can check that out beginning at the end of the month. Carla, anything as we wrap this up? Anything else you want to add?
Just make sure that you grab your meet and greet tickets because they're going fast, and I want to see everybody in person. It's been, a couple of years since I've been on tour, so I don't want to miss anybody. I want to say hello to everybody. Come see me on the road. Keep your eyes peeled for the next Violent Hour song and EP, and then the Lords of Acid album soon as well. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I always say starting over is so hard. So just all the love that I've received over the last year has been phenomenal, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, and I will have links to get tickets for Lords of Acid and the Violent Hour music and all that down in the description. Carla, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, and appreciate you taking some time.
Thanks.